everyone, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Serena and I love to read. Firstly, I would just like to thank everybody who has recently subscribed to my channel. In the last video, I mentioned that my goal for the end of the year was to make it to 100 subscribers, and we made it past 100 subscribers. Yay! So I'm really happy and very grateful to everybody who decided to subscribe. If you are new to my channel and you like book content and a little bit of coziness, subscribe down below. I'm really excited to get to know my community, and I'm really excited to read a lot more books and share more videos on my channel. So welcome to all the new subscribers, and if you're not subscribed, subscribe down below. So this video is going to be my end of year TBR, the books that I want to get to before the end of the year. These are mainly books, most of them are mostly books that I've started and I did not get a chance to finish. Others are books that I've had on my TBR since the summer and I just haven't started them. And some are, one of them actually is a new release and I want to get to it. So yeah, let's jump right in. So the first book on my end of year TBR, and I don't have it with me because I borrowed it last year from the library, and that was The Drift by CJ Tudor. I started this book, actually I just said last year, but it wasn't last year that I read it. I want to say that I read it sometime at the beginning of summer. I had started to read it and it was really good, and it was getting really intense. I felt that this book lent itself a lot better to be read in the winter season, so I stopped reading it and I sent it back and I brought it back to the library. I'm actually gonna borrow it again, maybe I'll purchase it, and I'm gonna read it for, hopefully I'm gonna read it by the end of this year. That is my goal. This book is, not only is it set in the winter time, but there's like intertwining stories, and from what I can remember, there's a lot of people that are stuck in this like winter storm. I remember it being really good and really intense, and I just stopped because I was like, you know what, this is a winter read. I need to read this in the winter instead. So yeah, that is The Drift by CJ Tudor. The next book that is on my end of the year TBR is Krampus, the Yule Lord by Brom, Brom, but it's just Brom here. Again, this is a book that I started reading last year and I was really enjoying it. I don't know why I stopped reading it. I think I just had a ton of other books that I was reading at the same time and I just never got the chance to finish this book. So I'm really hoping that I can get to it. Again, this is, you know, a good spooky winter read, so I'm excited to get to it. There's a Santa Claus, there's an evil, is he an evil Yule Lord? Yeah, I think he's like an evil Yule Lord. What I really liked, actually, I think it's in this book. What I really liked was the illustrations in this book, if you can see it. Yeah, there's a few illustrations in the book of all the characters. Well, most of the characters, some of the main characters that are in the story, which I found really cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to get to it, and I'm hoping that I can read it before Christmas time. As you can see, I did start it a little bit, so that's a good thing, but I remember it being very good, and I would like to continue. So yeah, that's Krampus, the Yule Lord by Brom. Oh, also I want to mention, I know like a lot of people, they read Slewfoot. A lot of people have read Slewfoot by the same author. I haven't read Slewfoot. I would really like to read it, but I just want to get to this one first beforehand. Another book on my end of the year TBR, and one that I felt at the time that I was reading it lent itself a lot better to being read during the colder months, was The Enigma of Room 622 by I think it's Joelle Dicker. And this book is a pretty big book, as you can see, and I did start it. I started it last year. I remember at the time that I was really excited to get to this book because I had really liked this cover. I thought this cover was just so cool. It's pretty much like the hotel over here, and in one of the hotel rooms there's a dead body. So I was like, ooh, and you wouldn't see that unless you're actually like looking. So I thought that this cover was just really cool and I really wanted to read it. It's like a thriller mystery. When I was reading it, I felt it had like these kind of like Born Identity vibes. I could be wrong, maybe. I mean, I just read that much, so it's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, I'm excited to get to this book before the end of the year. It's also set in the winter too, so that's why I wanted to read it in the winter. Okay, the next book on my end of the year TBR is Keeper of Enchanted Rooms by Charlie N. Holmberg. This was actually a book club pick and for a book club that I'm part of, and I never got to it. I had bought the book, I was ready to read it, but I didn't even start reading it. I don't even know what it was about. For the book club, it seemed like a lot of people really enjoyed reading this book, and so yeah, I'm excited to get to this book this season. I don't know if it is set in the winter. I know that it's set in Rhode Island in 1846, but it may not even be set in the winter. I just thought that it would be a really nice winter read. And yeah, that's Keeper of Enchanted Rooms by Charlie N. Holmberg. The next book on my list is Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I've been wanting to get to this for a little while now. I've had it since last year. I know I mentioned in another video that I'm not sure if I like books that have like a dark academia setting, or books that are set like at a school with dark academia vibes. I don't know if I like that, because all the books that I've read that have had those kind of dark academia settings, although I like the vibes and I like the setting, I'm not really into the story that much. The story doesn't do anything for me. I know a lot of people really like this book, and I've been curious to pick it up, and I actually also do have Hellbent. So I'm hoping to get to this month as well. I'm kind of using this book as like my last decision. If I don't like this book, I'll never pick up another dark academia book. The next on my list, and I've been very excited to read this book, and that's The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi. I intended on reading this in the summertime, and I just did not finish it. I had started, I can't remember where I was. I'm going to start all over again anyways. I've been hearing some really great things about this book. A lot of people seem to really enjoy it, and I'm really excited to get to it. And this cover is just, it's so beautiful. I love it so much. That's The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. The next book that I'm excited to get to is Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas. I know fall is over, Halloween is over, that's when you should be reading this book, but I didn't get it until recently, and every single time I've been reading another book, I've been thinking about this one. I think this is like the first book that I'm gonna pick up. I'm hoping that I can finish it and get to it, because I've been really excited to read it. I read, what was the other book that the author came up with? The Hacienda by Isabel Canas, and I really enjoyed that book. I think I gave it 5 stars. So I do have high hopes for this book. I just hope that it doesn't like disappoint me. I'm trying to go in with low expectations, but still have high hopes for it. So yeah, that's Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas. The next book, and it was another book club pick by the same book club, and that is The Book Eaters by Sunyi Dean. This is another book that was a book club pick for a book club that I'm part of, and I never had the opportunity to read it. I bought it and I never got the opportunity to read it. So it's been on my shelf, and I'm just excited to get to it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. So The Book Eaters by Sunyi. The next book on my list is Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. I was taking intense notes about this book. I was tabbing it and highlighting it, and I think it was just taking me a long time to get through it because I was doing that. But I really enjoyed tabbing and taking notes on this book because I'm really enjoying this book. I started it in the summertime, but I want to continue. I want to finish it before the end of the year. It's a sci-fi written by Octavia E. Butler. It's one of her most popular sci-fi, and I'm just excited to get through this book. It's really well written. So far, you can follow the story very easily. It's not difficult to understand, like the premise and the world building is pretty simple to understand so far. So yeah, I'm excited to continue this book, and that's Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. The last book on my end of the year TBR is by Jesmyn Ward, and that is Let Us Descend. I read 2 other books by Jesmyn Ward. I read Sing Unburied Sing and Salvage the Bone. I know that this book is probably going to be a very difficult read, so I'm kind of trying to set myself up for that because the last 2 books that I read of hers were very difficult to get through. As soon as I heard that this book was coming out, I knew that I had to pick it up, and I actually ended up picking it up for my book of the month pick, and it just recently came out like early in November. So yeah, this is the last book that I want to read for the end, before the end of the year, and that's Let Us Descend by Jesmyn Ward. So that is the end of my video. It was a very short, very quick video. I didn't go through any of the synopsis. I just kind of gave you a reason as to why I wanted to read these books. I know a lot of people don't like it when you read the synopsis, and I kind of don't like reading the synopsis anyways. I'm hoping that I could get through these books before the end of the year and not have to push it into 2024, and I will let you know how that goes. So thank you for watching. Again, thank you to everybody who recently subscribed. I hope you like this video, and I hope you like other videos as well. I have other videos on there as well as reading vlogs and other TBRs that I've done. Make sure to like this video and subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!